So ever since they changed ranked back in season 20 and made it so kills and placement matter a lot more, along with just the entry cost to play ranked in general being so much higher, it's no secret that last season and this season are probably like one of the hardest ranked seasons we've ever had. On top of that, it feels like you're fighting a cheater pretty much every single ranked game you play. And if you're not fighting one, you may even just get one on your team if you're solo queue. Is he cheating? Did I miss something? How did he know he was here? Okay, he's 100% cheating. You guys see him just trying to pre-fire through the floor? We have it confirmed now, right?
I'm just using walls. That's it. Just walls. You can report me if you want to report me. I don't really care. I have a bunch of accounts, bro. I have a bunch of accounts. If you want. I don't aimbot. Aimbot's for losers.
Like the real Chad he is, he draws the line at aimbotting, but apparently walling is okay. That's not a problem. If you guys didn't know, there is a good amount of people who wall hack only because it's a lot harder to tell someone's cheating if they're not completely aimbotting you, which leads to them getting reported way less. On top of that, you get teammates who think landing on 5 different squads is the way to gain RP. Then you also get the teammates who are always angry for some reason, which conveniently enough happened to be my cheater too at the same time.
How do we land here, bro? You guys are stupid.
And truthfully, without trying to be mean to my randoms, I feel like right before they queue ranked, they just somehow like open up their head, take their brain and put it on the floor and then make sure they're playing the rest of the day without it. That or they're playing blindfolded or with their feet. To be honest, I don't know what the problem is, but this season's teammates have hurt my soul. If it wasn't obvious enough, this was kind of geared more towards the solo queue ranked experience. But I feel like some of these issues at the very least could apply to 3 stacking. It doesn't even matter. And I just felt like making this video because for the first time ever in Apex, I actually gave up on trying to hit Master solo queue. I've hit Masters pretty much every season solo queuing. So you know, it's kind of painful to have to accept that this season is just one where I just don't want to do it anymore. And of course, some people are going to be like skill issue, which, you know, to some extent, there probably is a skill issue. But I mainly wanted to make this video more addressing the fact that, like, something has to be done about the solo queue experience for ranked. Because now that ranked is a lot harder, it's just genuinely not fair that I have to fight 3 stacks of Preds playing Revenant, Pathfinder, Lifeline, while I'm basically at daycare babysitting the 2 toddlers on my team. And I'm going to get punished in the exact same way that the 3 stack Preds are going to get punished. My entry cost is the same, all my multipliers are the same, everything. Now, I don't work for Respawn, obviously, so all I could do is throw out an idea and then hope that maybe they just listen to the community. If enough people speak up about it, who knows. Even if something as simple as making solo queuers have a reduced entry cost, I think would go a long way. I hope right now I'm not just ranting and at least some of this video is relatable to some of you. But regardless, I also wanted to give some advice that I feel may help people who are gonna go through this excruciating journey. And I think the big first thing is that I could say is find out how your teammates are gonna play, which I feel you can get a feel for that pretty fast. If they spend a lot of time looting, then chances are you're gonna be a more passive team and you're gonna loot the whole game. To me, that's not a fun way to play, but it is what it is, and you gotta learn to adapt to how your teammates are playing. Or maybe the opposite, maybe your teammates are very aggressive players and like fighting, and you don't like fighting that much. It sucks, but you gotta learn to do things that your teammates are gonna do. I noticed that the games I gained the most RP were the games where I just said, screw it, I'm not gonna play how I like to play, I'm just gonna play how my 2 randoms are playing. You need to be very adaptable if you want to make it work in these seasons. Because if you guys have never heard, there's kind of a golden rule in Apex, and this is more of a competitive saying, but it 100% applies to all of Apex in general, where even a bad plan, when done with the entire team, is better than a good plan only done by 1 or 2 of the team. And I promise you guys this is true, where even if your teammates are doing dumb stuff, if all 3 of you are being dumb together, you have a good chance of honestly making it work. Unless you're calming and your teammates are actually listening, don't try to do any like hero plays or, you know, anything along those lines. It's not gonna work out most of the time. That personally was hard for me to accept because in the other seasons I could kind of like make just solo plays and it would work out. But, you know, unfortunately not anymore. So yeah, to sum it up, basically just adapt to how your team plays. Don't try to be a hero, because things like that don't work anymore. Also, another thing I feel that really made me struggle, the highest rank I hit when doing this was Diamond 2, and I played Watson all the way up to that point. And around that time, I had about 200 games, so you know, I had a pretty good feel for how it was gonna go already. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like not running the meta guns and legends hurts you way more than it ever has in past seasons. I feel like the current meta is just so bad and so easy to play that you're like honestly kind of throwing to not use them. Of course, to an extent, you should do what you're comfortable with, but I promise you, if you're out here running, say, like, Gibby in an R301, and you fight Revenants, Pathfinders, Lifelines, and they have Havocs and Hemlocks and all that, you're just like, genuinely, I can't see how you're gonna gain RP. Revenant is, like, by far probably the best ranked legend in the game right now, and on top of that, he doesn't even take skill to play. So I just don't see why you want to make your life harder if you genuinely care about hitting Masters. So, you know, that's just my take on it. If you're not someone who's hard stuck on certain guns and certain legends, I definitely would try to play into the meta more, or you're gonna make your life a lot harder. I mean, truthfully, the best way to gain RP is to just not solo queue at all. If you have the option, like if you could wait a little longer for people to get on, I genuinely just would not solo queue. It is that bad. But you know, some of us, like me, don't really have people to ever play with. So this is kind of just what we're forced to make work. I will say though, another big thing is, when I was in Diamond 2, within a 4-hour session, I ended up losing nearly 1,000 RP. I almost went from Diamond 2 to Diamond 4. And I feel like a big factor was because I was playing when KC was in rotation. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's some maps in the game where it might be better just to not play ranked when those maps are in rotation just because of the type of play style that is forced. And I would say King's Canyon is a good example of that in the current rotation of maps. The map is just genuinely not designed for a ranked experience, and it's way better as a pub match. And unless you're playing perfect every game, I feel like it's just not even worth playing ranked on that day if you have the option to wait until a different map comes up. And you know, it's a battle royale, so playing perfect is not a thing. That's kind of just my 2 cents there. Obviously, if you want to play, don't just wait till it's a new map to play. But just in my personal experience, I will probably be avoiding playing ranked at all if there's King's Canyon or Olympus. Both those maps promote similar playstyles that are very hard for solo queuers. And the last thing, because I don't want to make the video too long and make it boring, but I feel it's important to say don't get mad at your random teammates, and if you're going to, at least do it privately. I know this whole video has been me basically complaining about random teammates, but I will say, at least, if it makes anyone feel better, I have never actually got mad at a random in-game. If I'm tilted, then I just keep it to myself and I'll complain about it on a YouTube video. It does nothing to yell at your teammates. I mean, if anything, you're just gonna make them play worse or you're gonna make them throw. And I know this feels like a very straightforward thing to say, but you would be surprised at how many people don't realize this. You know, so basically just be a decent person at the end of the day, regardless of what happens. And hopefully something in this video was useful. I really wanted to upload another Bronze to Master solo queue with Watson only for everyone, but I honestly just couldn't do it. I was in Diamond for over 40 hours, I think. And with how ranked works now, it just felt impossible to actually achieve Masters with random teammates. Someone on the team is always gonna throw. It feels like a guarantee. And when someone throws, you're taking negative 80s. Every game was basically, I would take a plus 200, and then the next 3 are negative 80s. Then the next one is a plus 6, and then the next one is a minus 40. Like, it just goes nowhere. That's all though, my rant's over. I'm sad that I couldn't upload the Watson only to Masters. Probably the first time ever where I actually set myself a challenge that I normally could do and just gave up on. So, you know, I'm sorry, but we'll figure out what to do from here.